Peace and blessings. This is your boy Gerald. It is Saturday, the 9th of January, 2016. How is each and every one of y'all doing? Yes, I know I've been putting out a lot of chatter, a lot of energy out here on social media, and there's been a reason for it all. See, this past week for me has been very, very spiritual. Um, wasn't going to share it, but I am going to share it now. I've found myself, I would say, middle of the week, finding myself having issues trying to sleep. Now, mind you, when it's time to shut it down, I have no problem. But I also knew that this was not energy that was coming from me. I was feeling this lull, or it was indirectly brought to my attention that there was something going on with someone that I am either directly or indirectly connected to. And I found myself at times tapping into my REM sleep only to be shown things while dreaming. And let me tell you what, y'all, it was quite eye-opening to say the least. Now, as of late, I have been doing a lot of reading, a lot of personal research for myself. I'm the first one to tell you I am not a theologian. I'm the first one to tell you that I do not come with an agenda. No, I am just like you. And the one thing that I've come to learn, that everything that has been revealed through these nearly 5 years of my spiritual walk has been intentional. And I'm thinking a lot of you are starting to take note for yourselves. I think a lot of you are starting to become comfortable with accepting that the things that are being revealed, the things that are being required for you to, I don't want to say deal with, is meant to bring the person who you really are to the surface. Now, as you already know, sometimes to have change, there must come a breaking point. That sometimes comes naturally through progression. Sometimes it is manifested through change, change that you have no control over, and you must adapt. So, as I mentioned before, I kind of felt this energy around me. Now, mind you, the devil's a liar. Always have, always will be. So I don't walk in fear. I walk with God. Allow his angels to guide me. I ask for protection every day. Because see, that is one of the precepts of walking in favor, as well as walking in humility. See, you can't be transparent until you actually give yourself permission to be you. I know I'm talking to someone. And I think some of you right now have a tiredness in your spirit. Now, I'm not talking about your physicality. No, I'm not. This is something that you already knew was going to come. You knew this a long time ago, but you actually thought that if I give it enough time, it can be forgotten. But what has it done? It has taken on a life of its own. And it has shown you that if you don't deal with it now, well, the ball literally is not in your court. And it's got some of you scared. And here's the ironic part about it. You're afraid to talk about it. You've actually convinced yourself, because of the disappointment or the shame that came with this decision, that if you bring it up now, that the people that you confide in are going to look at you a certain way. What did I tell you? What have I been trying to convey to each and every one of you? If those that you confide in do not unconditionally love you, why are you there? Some of y'all are starting to take those epiphanies that you've had and starting to seeing a pattern of what is being shown. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them snapshots in your mind. And you're saying, well, how is this? How is this possible that I was able to see this and now I'm living it? Don't you realize there is a spiritual battle going on for your soul? What is being fought for is your identity, not the person that you have conveniently transformed to. Because see, you can fool them. And it's quite all right, because guess what? Deep down inside, they don't care. Let's call a spade a spade. They don't care. They like what you do. They like what you represent. And they like how you make them feel. But it is you behind closed doors that have to deal with the emptiness. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. That void. And it almost cost you, now didn't it? You almost changed the way that you started thinking things because you didn't want to take accountability for that initial choice. There's a reason why I'm saying this, y'all. Because we are in the days where things are, they don't have to be covert no more. They already know that 50% of the people that walk on this planet are not going to do the work. They're going to just allow things to stay the status quo. That ain't you. It never was you. So on one hand, you're tired of dumbing down. You see things clearly more than ever. This may be for some of y'all, you may have been making a decision to look over your family tree and you're starting to see where proverbially things went wrong. And you're starting to take note of the things that were learned hereditarily. Don't you realize that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Now you're starting to take note and you're saying to yourself, well, I love them. If they only knew how much I loved them. But it's obvious they never loved themselves. Maybe because of what and someone had taught them. And in turn, this was the knowledge passed to you. So that you can see the commonality where it was perverted or misled or misguided. You can pick the words you want. You know it's not right. So now you see, you're starting to understand what you really needed all along. Maybe that was the reason why that fear that was planted inside that beautiful mind of yours had so much dominion on you, because the fact that what you needed was true communication. And maybe the audience that you kept it in did not render that. So therefore, instead of questioning it, you just said, well, hey, it's on them. I'll just make the best of it. Your life is not meant to be making the best of it. Your life is an experience. How many disappointments do you have to take before you say to yourself, I deserve better? Give me a second, y'all. I want you to think about that. Because this is going to that person that you are really a, a stone's throw from your destruction. I want you to think about that for a second. Give me 20 seconds. Thank you for your patience. So now everything is coming up. You're starting to look at the fact that the things that you thought that was hidden, you thought you did a good old job, didn't you? But it's right there staring at you. Why is that? You know why? Because I told you before, you got contracts, you have obligations, you have responsibilities, and you have work to do. And if you don't fulfill it, your dreams are not going to become the reality that you envision them, because your hands are not in it. You're allowing people to dictate your future. You're allowing people to squander your essence. You are choosing, there's that free will, to self-sabotage or exploit your life. Why? Because of difference of opinion? Because someone said no? What did I convey to each and every one of you? When someone tells you no, that does not mean forever. The word no means under review. How many times have you brought something to somebody and they said no, but then you turned around and did whatever to change it up or repackage or come at another approach and they said yes? You see the court, you see it now? That's how you should be. So why are you accepting things that you should not? Why are you allowing people to dictate your path? Because it's convenient or because you're afraid of the unknown? Don't you realize that God told us long ago, and I had to learn this myself, He only requires faith of a mustard seed. You realize how small a mustard seed is? So let's water that down. He's basically saying, I need you to show me something and I'll work with you. Now, after you show me this, I need you to build off of that. So let's talk about that heart. Some of you have so much scar tissue, internal bruising, and trauma to that beautiful organ that we know is your heart. But if you realize how precious that heart was, you would also understand how it's required and needed for your direction. See, you got to understand, even though figuratively the heart represents emotion, without the heart, the mind will never be clear. I know I'm talking to someone. See, you've got a trinity within yourself. You didn't even know it. You know how we give honor and we say the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit as you may know it. Well, think about it like this: the mind, the body, and spirit. If they're not in tune together, you don't live. You may function, but you ain't living. I know that needs to go to someone. So I say to you, my king, you know I love you. My queens, I honor you. But when you're going to look yourself in the mirror and start honoring yourself, when you're going to stop doing time in your mind because of a choice that was made from someone else, huh? You turn around and put yourself in a sentence of solitude because you didn't want to take accountability for your part in it. It's easy to point the blame, but when you go within, you'll come to understand that they didn't deserve to hear you breathe. I know I'm talking to someone, but see, I realize this too. With all that solitude, that may have been a blessing in disguise because you've done some thinking now, haven't you? Yeah, you have. But see, you allowed that dark cloud we know as fear. You let that element we know as confusion. You like to play in the darkness. And it was very enticing because, see, a demon's job is not to protect you, but to destroy you. So why wouldn't you think that they would not have all that you want and never give you what you need? I know I'm talking to someone. You got a circle of people around you, and they're giving you false sense of security that they got your back. Little do you know, they do have your back long enough to put a knife in the back of it. I ain't got to tell you that. If you had saw your worth from day one, you would have realized that these people brought nothing to the table but distraction. Every time that you had a major disappointment, they didn't pick you up. They gave you justification of their behaviors, not yours. So now you've got friendship issues. You're the first one to say this out of your mouth. Oh, I don't trust women. I got all guy friends. No, you don't. You never had all guy friends. You had little boys with toys, and you just happened to be the playground. And the moment that you tried to readjust the sand in that play box, what did they do? They picked their toys up and went to another one, leaving you to sift the grains. I know I'm talking to someone. 2016, y'all, is a year of clarity. The days of faking it to make it are over. That's not part of your walk. Never was. And the more that you go within yourself, the more stronger you'll see. See, their whole position in your life was to convince you to not see the real you. So guess what? You think they didn't mind exploiting you? They had to do that to have dirt on you, to get you to play along. And when you started to ground your feet, you started to see things crystal clear. And that's when the confusion came. Now, how is it that these people that are supposed to have your best interest, mind you, are the same people that are giving you the most grief now? It's because you're able to see them for who they were. And I think right now, you can't stuff that down anymore. You can't. The numbness is thawing out. You're saying to yourself, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I can just walk away. What did I tell you? The things you need are always there. The things that distract you will come and go. So, you're going to allow another minute to be taken from you? Or are you going to make this a year that you invest and let the real you be seen? My queens, I keep trying to tell you. I told you from day one. Stop looking for your man. Stop. You think I'm just being, you think I'm just doing that to be confrontational? I say this, and this goes for you too, my kings, to save yourself from yourself. But I know some of you say, well, you know what, Joe, you don't know me. And if I want to do what I want to do, how I want to do, with whoever I want to do, that's my business. Then don't get mad when the pain comes. Don't get mad when the shame is there. And don't get mad when your reality is what you make. That's why you always hear that proverbial saying, you made your bed, lie in it. Maybe that's the problem. You've been spending too much time in a bed that was never yours to begin with. I know I'm talking to someone. They got you wide open like a barn door. They have put it in Front Street that they have no respect for your life. That's why they keep doing the things they do to you. Why? Because they realize that you don't care about you. But you continue to protect the enemy. Now, let's make this clear, because everybody wants to get on a high horse and they want to turn around and say, oh, well, it's them. You know, you want to turn around and lowball it and blame it on a pigmentation. Let me tell you something. You can strip the melanin out of someone's skin, but you won't change their spirit. But I think some of y'all know that because you've allowed pretty demons come in your life and leave you depleted, leave you swollen, leave you sick. He loves you, right? He loves you, right? But he got your backside swollen. I know I'm talking to someone. But see, we have some people that call themselves realists. And the truth is, they worship mankind. These are the people that say, well, if I don't see it in my hand, it ain't real. Okay. So how do you explain that succubus that came to you? I know I'm talking to someone. Or that incubus that tried to consume you. Why you think I keep trying to convey to you to burn sage? Because see, what you don't realize is that what you think is courage is not. See, when you was in your most vulnerable state of mind, that demon came and started putting things in your head. And you said, well, you know, I ain't got nothing to lose. Why not try it? And you tried to play with the scriptures and say, well, I'm walking in blind faith. No, you're not. You're walking in denial and destruction. Don't you realize if God ain't in it, it don't grow? And let me change this paradigm right now. Because I don't want you to think for 1 second I am attacking you. Because I'm not. What you're hearing is dedication. What you're hearing is passion, which is what? Connected to what? Compassion. So you got to be compassionate to know what passion is. And passion is nothing but the ability to do something for free. You would do it like breathing air because it is part of you. So Gerald got much love for you, and Gerald will always have a high standard for your life, but I can't live it. So why do you think that you should settle for less? Remember I told you a long time ago, if you wanted to see what kind of caliber friends you had, to just ask them this: what is your purpose? And if they couldn't tell you, they're not your friends. The reason why I said that is to spawn curiosity inside you so you could understand what was being manifested in your life. And it isn't the reason why I'm attacking your friends. I'm trying to show you the like-mindedness that you have with yourself. That's why I always would say energy out is energy in, because it comes from your spirit. And I know a lot of you have been under spiritual attack. That's why you drink so much. That's why you're getting high. That's why you even have the audacity to say What does it all mean? Why should I be here? Maybe I should end it now, which is the most selfish thing that you could do. Why do you think we got generational curses, y'all? Huh? So you say, well, because I don't have the courage to love me more, I'm going to take me out. And go ahead, let's make this apparent. You choose that route, you have damned not only yourself, but you have damned everybody that is connected to you. Because guess what? You have willfully put a hole in the shape of you and your lineage. Don't do that. That ain't the answer, y'all. I don't care what you look like. You could be like fine as wine and broken like hell. You try to go outside and fool the next person, think you got it going on and got it together, knowing that you're more fragile than a piece of rice paper. I know I'm talking to someone. You know why you're fragile like that? Because you won't be honest with yourself. You won't fight for you. But you keep listening to what they tell you. Well, let me tell you this, because you know I love you. Look at their lives and look at what they say. Does it match? Does it match? Only you know this. Does what they're saying match their actions? Does the seeds from their actions spawn the harvest for your legacy? Because if it don't, that's your answer. Some of you are dealing with the fact that you're in love with them. You're saying to yourself every day, that is my everything. That's my wifey. But she married. How can you have possession of someone that is already possessed by someone else? And before you turn around and try to throw that control angle, get a grip. Because no one can make you do anything you don't want to do. So therefore, if you willfully take an oath or vow, there was an intent. If what they say does not match their actions, that is your answer. Had someone tell me one time, well, Gerald, if you can get the milk for free, why buy the cow? That was the most ignorant response I heard someone say. I should have turned around and say, well, therefore, I could take you to a stream, but I can't make you drink. It's all about free will, y'all. So the point I'm trying to make is this. 2016 is your get it year. This is your year of clarity, your year of validation. If you don't like where you are, then change it. Stop lying to yourself and lying to your environment, because if you don't have you together inside first, don't worry about what's outside your door. It's going to be just as broken. Life is not about putting patchwork to make things work. It either does or it does not. Why do you think you're stressing? Huh? You stressing because of what he tells you? But you got loyalty to him. But you ain't got loyalty to yourself. You're saying to yourself every day, but he's a good guy. He's got potential. You can't live off potential, y'all. You live off of actions. I could promise you the sun and give you the moon. Will you stay? But I'll do you one better. If he doesn't know God, he doesn't know himself. And I always say this too. If a person is not a friend to themselves, you can't expect them to be a friend to you. So why are you walking with them? Huh? So you say to yourself, oh, well, Gerald, we got chemistry. He makes me feel a certain way. You know why he makes you feel a certain way? Because it's uncharted territory for him or her. It's new to you. So guess what? He gets to shape the picture. But all of a sudden, now that picture is tainted, ain't it? You know why? Because it was never blessed. That's why you feel the way you feel. And guess what? That's why your body is starting to look the way it is looking. Because I keep trying to tell you, y'all, every time that you are intimate with another human being, you are you are placing a spiritual bridge between that person's spirit and yours. Mind you, let's not lose the fact that the people that they were connected to. That's why you always hear this. A person that was abused will one day become the abuser unless there is some type of intervention sought. So there we go. There's their free will again. You got to make a choice, y'all. You got to make a choice to want things to be right in your life, to have the clarity, to have the transparency. It starts when you start loving yourself. My queens, you keep looking at what's outside your door and what's projected on that TV. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to be lost, you're going to be broken, and you're going to be broke. That's right. Mm-hmm. Because every illustration that you see, they throw the positive to sugarcoat the negative. Every woman that is put in a position of power illustrated on TV, she got some hangups now, don't she? She's so powerful and so intelligent, but yet she won't invest in what's really going on with herself. So now it's exhibited in her behavior. You may know it as being assertive, but really, that is someone that is unbalanced. So she got to have that midday cocktail. She got to keep the edges smooth. She got to have Mr. Goodwrench on speed dial, even though in her mind she wants a loving home. So let's get this corrected. So now the things that we should question, we don't. We turn a blind eye because we don't want to challenge the status quo. But I'm gonna ask you this: where's God in all this? Huh? God told you from day one, He's not gonna forsake you. He won't. So you got to do work. You got work you got to do. Unless you want to end up like this, you can go to your and it came to me in a dream. You see, you go to any of your churches out here, right? And you see that queen, and she got the biggest hat, like a peacock, on. She got that dress on. She want to be seen. And I thought about it. Churches should become as you are, right? But she got that hat on. And you look around in that congregation, you'll see others the same way. You know why she does that? Because she wants you to acknowledge for those insecurities that she has. But she wears that big old hat not for attention, but to hide her shame. Oh, yes, sir. I know I'm talking to somebody. She's quick to throw them big shades on, too. Don't you realize God sees everything? Hmm? But let me get this correct. A church is a structure, and it means nothing unless you have a connection first. You can be rich in your spirituality and broke in your wealth, and God will make a way when there is no way. But because what is bad is considered good and what is good is considered a mockery, we just go with it. What's wrong with that picture? I know somebody's saying, Jerry, you just hating. Nope, I ain't hating. Ain't got nothing to do with my walk. I know who God is. I know my purpose. And that's why I speak my truth. And that's why truth is like a double-edged sword. Truth is truth. And sometimes it cuts. Sometimes it fosters those beloved tears. That's why I keep talking to someone. You allowed your circle to convince you to alienate your emotional self. So why do you think I put the video out, Mahogany's theme? Because I know 50% of the people that walk this planet don't know who they are. So you might as well be sheep led to slaughter. Don't you realize the older you get, the more responsibility is required? Because you got people that are going to walk behind your legacy for what you leave behind. But we all have the ability to change. Stop dreaming about it and do something about it. If you don't like the way your finances is, have the courage to restructure it. Look at where the holes are and start plugging them up. But see, I also know this. Society queens only want you to be on your back. I ain't got to tell you that. Look at the fashion. Look at it. You used to see two type of women that embrace that. That's the one that walks the night and the one that's standing on that stage for $1. Anybody will tell you that. Some of those women that have chose to say, well, you know what, I want to make a quick buck. Most of them, the ones that are honest, will tell you they hate their job. So they have to drink. They have to get to a mental state that they're numb. But yet they won't see the integrity of themselves of saying, well, you know what, because I see my worth and I love myself, I'm going to step away from this. Yes, I'm going to go this route. It's going to require me some struggle. But guess what? I'm rebuilding my honor. But you allow society to convince you that you want what we know is fool's gold. You're attracted to the same things that a baby would want. If it's sparkly and shiny, it gets your attention for a short while, but you don't realize the pain that's behind it, what you got to give up in the end. I love each and every one of you, and that's not your walk, but it'll continue to be your path the moment you decide to stop. Turn around. I know there's some of you right now that have had to come to terms that you have burned a lot of bridges in your lives. You have hurt a lot of people in your lives. The people that genuinely care about your well-being. And you convince yourself Time and time again, oh, well, they'll get over it. Well, if they were able to get over it, why do you feel the same way now? Because you have contracts with these people and you are obligated to fulfill them. 2016, y'all, is going to be your get right year. It's going to be a year that you are going to give yourself permission to allow that little boy and little girl to be seen. That beautiful, courageous soul. You. There'll never be another you. So why are you so afraid to be seen? Don't you realize the moment that you decide to claim your life back, all those things that were false will fall from you. And guess what? You will see truth too. You'll see truth because what'll happen is that like-mindedness that you possessed, you'll have the courage to make the proper decisions needed for your life. I ain't got to tell you, you're starting to see this now. You're starting to see the coincidence. The only time they come around is when they got you to do something for them. Only time they come around is when you're giving something up. But they supposed to have your best interest, right? Hmm? Hmm? Tell the truth, shame the devil. So I'm going to sum this up. I know that a lot of people, you're only going off of what you know. This year is a year that you're going to empower yourself and you're going to invest in yourself too. You're going to be saying this time and time again, if I only knew. That's okay. You're growing. You're going to know what the word transparency is all about because you're going to demand it. And those people who cannot, guess what? You'll be divided from them. Don't worry about that because, see, God has better plans for you. You got to remember, God is not going to give you your blessings so you can squander it. No, 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 no. But that devil will give you all the distractions you want. I got this feeling right now. There's a queen who says, well, Gerald, I hear what you've been saying, but all I've ever wanted was that he loved me. Why won't he love me? I have bent over backwards time and time again, and it seems like I'm talking in a foreign language. Doesn't he know that I want to build a world around him? He's the one. So you think. You'll come to understand he was nothing but your distraction. And he is not going to change until, well, unfortunately, he has his spiritual nuances. Because he's going to get to a point where he's not going to be able to turn a blind eye to what's being revealed to him. And guess what? He's going to leave. She's going to leave you too. That's right, King. You out there, you have gotten to a point where you're reflecting on every woman that you have bedded down. And you're seeing the coincidence in each type of woman that you were attracted to, because we attract what we are. And at first you said to yourself, well, it's a physical thing, Gerald. I like what I like. No, you don't. No, you don't. You like what's convenient. That's why that one that came in your life that would challenge the way you think, you ran like hell. I know I'm talking to someone. You know why that occurred? Because, see, that person knew in their spirit that there was more. And they demanded that from you. I'm not talking from a control standpoint. I'm talking that they were like a conduit spiritually. And I believe the angels were talking through them to you, and it shook you because they started asking and saying things that only you knew about that occurred. And you said to yourself, how is it possible that this person knows things about me before I even came into their lives? Because that's how angels do. So you've been searching, but you have those desires. Yeah, those. The ones that you don't like talking about. So every time that someone kind of gets near that, you break camp. You break camp. You break camp. You run for the hills because they're getting too close to the real you. Let me tell you something. You can't run from yourself forever unless you are already willfully ready to go jump in that coffin. Because see, the path that you're getting ready to go on, because you think you're slick, you don't realize that things from your past are about to be your present. But guess what? Even you have a choice. And I know you're going off of, well, I can't deal with my pains because that will make me less of a man. It makes you less of a man when you don't connect to your emotions because you ain't living. Marvin Gaye sung about that in Inner City Blues. Why you think you like listening to Bobby Womack so much? I know I'm talking to somebody. Now's the time the fool is going to become the believer. And you're wondering why we're having so many natural occurrences? No. We're having this because God is getting tired of our foolishness. So guess what's happening? All those homes that are proverbially built on the sand, they are falling one by one by one. Because there have been so many opportunities for you to atone. So, okay, I'm gonna give you some pain reliever with some pain. So what is happening is you got people that have built false lives and they're being forced to start anew. And you don't realize what's falling is your ego and your pride. And what you'll come to understand is those associations that come with it, they're gonna fall too. Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because I hear you crying, King. I hear you weeping, Queen. I hear it. 2016, you can't run from yourself no more. You're ready to exhale because you've been living in hell. And you know darn well this ain't your life. You have a emotional monument inside your heart for every person that has deceived you. Instead of taking the wisdom of those disappointments and changing, you embrace the disappointments to do to somebody else. We know that is being narcissistic, but everybody else knows that is nothing but a demon incarnated. So when the fool is made a believer, the earth moves. This is the year, y'all. It's going to be about everything that you dreamt about, that you were afraid to do. This is having the courage to look at those blocks You know what's behind those blocks? Your blessings. I love each and every one of you. And you deserve to have the life intended. The moment you took your first breath, your legacy was written. If you allow one moment to be squandered, that's a choice. So, you're going to start living and claiming you, or are you going to continue to walk in what we know as fool's paradise? Choice is yours. And my queens, let me tell you something. I'm going to say this and I'm going to share something else and I'm out of here. I need you, this too, my kings. I need you to start listening to your heart. I need you to start giving yourself permission to be still. See, you don't need permission to be you, y'all. Make that a point that you hold on. The people that are rightfully that should be in your life should be uplifting you, not holding you back. I ain't got to tell you that. Some of you will have contracts by way of your sexuality. You know good and well she has no intentions that are good for you, but you can't break from her. He drives you through nothing but pure hell. And you have a unconditional loyalty. He is so brazen, he has put his hands on you. Now, take accountability for who was there and what parts were played. Still doesn't make it right. Don't you realize right now, more than ever, we are in what we know is Sodom and Gomorrah. And the devil think he winning. And the devil wants nothing but your life. Because every time that you don't claim you, he get a 2-for-1 coupon on your behavior. I ain't got to tell you that. For what? Something that is built by man's hands? Don't you realize anything that's made by man's hands doesn't last forever? It comes with an expiration date. Your health should not be one of them. But he got you doing things you know you shouldn't be doing. She got you doing things like the Pied Piper. She play her tune and you dance. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? It's time for y'all to start loving on you and free yourselves from your pain. Start speaking your truth. Ground your feet. Because you know what happens when you ground your feet? The things that ain't meant for you can't stay there. They fall apart. Because now you're focused. You're not distracted anymore. And they don't like that. They don't like that because they know the moment that you stop and start investing in you, oh, there are going to be some problems. I ain't got to tell you that. Look at that bruise that's on your thigh right now. Every time you ask a question that is legitimate, she acts the fool. She likes to break things. You know why she does that? Because that demon that's inside her knows that there's a battle that's going to go on because they know that you're one step closer to God. Angels are real, y'all. Don't get it twisted. So are demons. And right now we are living in the era of what we know as the Jezebel spirit. See, the Jezebel spirit wants only one thing, and that's to wreck your life. That's why people run around cheat on people and do things that really have no honor. And we all know what happened to Jezebel. She had a very violent death. Jezebel she loves to uh one of the things that she loves doing is she likes to, I don't want to use the word attack, but she likes to influence the impressionable, especially you, my queens. Jezebel loves that because her old goal is to make you barren. She don't want you to be a mother. She doesn't want you to, because that's a spiritual gift, the gift of nurturement. She don't want to do that. And those who may have slipped in the cracks, she got something for you. She turns around and lets her influence be made manifested in your kids. That's why your kids are acting out. That's why you don't have a connection with little Johnny. That's why you're mad at little Sarah, because little Sarah's acting like you. And you know it. But does it change? Does it surprise you? These are extensions of you. Think about that oak tree. You are the roots. Your branches are the extensions that come from you. So don't you think there should be a responsibility so the growth is undisturbed? Lastly, so I know that there's some people connected to me directly, indirectly, could be someone here on this channel, and I felt their energy Wednesday night, and it caught me off guard at first, but the good thing I had, see, first of all, I stay prayed up. I stay in prayer. That's what keeps me grounded. But I was able to see something while I was in my REM sleep. And what I saw was someone playing with tarot. Yeah, they were. And the more they kept pulling the cards, the more cards were showing death, demonic, tower. I kept seeing it. And the cards were burning. I kept seeing the temperance card on fire. I saw an angel with its wings spread, and there was fire above it. And there were people below looking at this angel. So, yes, I am aware of tarot. I'm very aware of it. But what you don't realize is that was part of the 7 sciences to man, but that was also taught by the fallen angels. They taught their knowledge to man. If you think for 1 second, the technology that we got, somebody said, hey, I'm gonna come up with this concept right here and see if it works, you're smoking. You're smoking. That's why you always keep hearing echoed through the ethers. To know your future, you must know your past. And that's why everything is coming full circle. Everything. Now, mind you, there are people on this planet that their purpose is to walk in evil. They know no different. Just like there are people like myself that are going to walk in the light. That's why that free will that you have been given, those 2 gifts God gave you, unconditionally love yourself and the ability to have free will, the power of choice. That's why you must discern on your path. Why do you think you've gone through so much hardship in your life? It wasn't to make you tough. It wasn't that you were cursed. It was a spiritual attack all along. Because see, the person that you're destined to be, this all is going to be your testimony. You're going to teach someone that is unborn now so they can learn. I ain't got to tell you that. You already know that. Just as I know this. There's somebody right now, you are flirting with the fact that either you or someone very close is pregnant. Yes, you can breathe now. And you're actually contemplating having an abortion. Let me ask you this. Is the abortion option because you don't want to change your life? Or is it because it's inconvenient to your lifestyle? I know I'm talking to someone. Some of y'all are dealing with that burden too, because that was choices that you made and you never got over that. Well, just know this. They're with you. And I think you already know that too. And they still love you too. They understand that in the intended time, you're going to see them too. Maybe not on this world, maybe in the next, when your life is completed here. Lastly, stop making your home your prison. You go out into the world, you come back home. You start doing that because you felt unsafe. But really, it was your disappointment. And you felt that, well, I'm only working with the tools I got. And if I just take myself out of circulation, I can manage. But guess what? All you've managed to do is become more angry. All you've been able to do is look at the world through that screen. And all I'm going to say to you is this. Forgive yourself. Have that conversation with God. And that pain will go away. By you sitting home, now mind you, if that's what you want to do, you do it. But if you think by continuing this solitary confinement, which is really inside your mind, is going to make a statement to other people, only statement is you're not being able to be reached, and that's a choice. That's what being a recluse is all about. But I'm here to tell you, when you have the courage to do the work, look at those pains, forgive those people, your heart will be lifted and you'll be free. You'll finally have the courage to be yourself. If you really knew how beautiful you were, Queen, you don't need that foolishness that you invest in. Let me tell you something. For those that think that you gotta have an additive to have the one be revealed, let me tell you something. The one is preparing for you now, has always been preparing for you now. But guess what? They're not going to find you or enter your life by their sight. They're going to be connected to you through your spirit. So You keep listening to your little girlfriends about, well, I need to add a couple cc's in my backside. I need to get this lifted and tucked, and I can get. Only thing you're gonna attract are Johns, because the one that will come, she or he, will be walking with God because they place God first. They discern everything they do. They speak their truth and they stand on that. But more importantly, guess what? Not only will they have the keys to the rest of your life, but they will be able to exhibit and display a love that you never have ever felt. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, for that, for that, it helps me to discern mine. Listen, you need to stop and let go of the biases and the stigmas about depression. You're only depressed because you choose to be depressed. That's why you're drinking so much. That's why you are opening up Pandora's box so that anybody can desecrate it. That's why your money is funny, because you're not protecting you. Let me tell you something, Queens. I don't care if you have slept with 500 men. It don't matter. It don't matter, because guess what? They're not going to inherit the ability to share your life. But if you don't protect it, how can they honor it? It's time that you have the courage to do something different. Go talk to a therapist. The worst thing that they can do is validate that the state of mind that you're in is correct, or show you something new. You don't think you're worth it? Well, you can continue doing what you've been doing then. Love to hear from you. And if this can help somebody, like all my videos, put it out there, y'all, because it's about each one teach one, and we're all connected. Be blessed.